Let's look at lesson 14, looking at equation of a line through 2 points and a line with a given slope. Example 14.1 says find the equation of the line that passes through those two coordinates. In order to solve, in order to solve for this, first thing you have to know is, okay, what is the equation of the line? What does that mean? Well, equation of a line, what that stands for is our slope-intercept form. So y equals mx plus b is what equation of the line stands for. Now we have to find, now we have to basically figure out what the line is that goes through the points. I'll just draw them out so we can see it. -3, 2, and 3, -3. So these two coordinates are what we are given, and we have to figure out what is the equation of that line in y equals mx plus b form. So what we're going to do here, yes, we have two coordinates. If we plug those into y and x, that would still leave us with a variable of m and b. So therefore, we would not be able to solve. We would still have two variables. So what else could we do? Well, a few lessons ago, we learned how to figure out the slope from two coordinates. So we have our two coordinates here, -3, 2, and 3, -3. Now between two coordinates, if we can figure out the rise over the run, we have the slope. And how we do that is this equation here. Slope, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's our slope formula. That's how we find slope. So y2, call that y2, y1, x1, x2. So y2 is -3 minus 2. Got the top, the bottom. X2 is 3 minus -3. So therefore we get -3 minus 2 is -5. 3, 2 negatives equals a positive 6. 3 plus 3 is 6. So our slope is -5/6. So what we can do now, I'm going to go ahead and erase all this. Write our slope up here. Slope is -5/6. So now, in this equation, we have y equals -5/6 x plus b. That's where we're at now. But we do have the two coordinates. Going back to the two coordinates, and those do represent an x and a y coordinate that is on the line. So therefore, we can plug in either of these two coordinates. We can plug in this one, or we can plug in -3, 2, or 3, -3. We're going to plug in the first one. Remember, -3 is x, 2 is y, because it always goes x, y in the coordinate form. So plugging in 2 equals -5/6 times -3 plus b. And we got one variable now, so therefore we can solve. -3, put that over 1, and what that will do is that'll cancel the 6 and 3. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 6 twice. So we are left with -1 there. Negative times negative is a positive 5/2. So we got 5 halves b, or 5 halves plus b equals 2. Do the opposite and subtract from both sides. And when you subtract that, you would have to do, put it over here, 2 minus 5/2. Got to get a common denominator. Common denominator would be 2. So we multiply the bottom by 2, and we multiply the top by 2 to make this 4 halves. 4 halves, same as 1 half. Now we can do 4 halves minus 5 halves equals 1 half, and that is B. So our answer to the, or our equation of the line would end up being y equals our slope, negative 5, 6, x, what is it? This is a negative, minus 1 half. And that would be our equation of the line. And so that's how you solve when you are given 2 coordinates. Now let's look at one that it gives us a set of coordinates and the slope. Well, this one's actually easier. The last one we had 2 coordinates and had to find the slope. This one, it gives us the slope. So once again, find the equation of the line, y equals mx plus b, and passes through negative 4, 7, has a slope, negative 3/5. So we know our slope, we know our x, and we know our y. So we can plug those in all 3 of those slots. So 7 equals negative 3/5 times negative 4 plus b. Looks like we're going to deal with some fractions here. So nothing can cancel. Negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12 over 5. 12 over 5 plus b equals a very big 7. Equals 7. Subtract 12/5. Subtract 12/5. We'll subtract the fraction over here. Put the 7 over 1. Find the least common denominator. Least common denominator between 1 and 5 is obviously 5. So we're going to have to multiply the 1 by 5. And we're going to have to multiply the 7 by 5. To do it to the bottom, you got to do it to the top. So there you get 35 over 5. Still the same as 7 over 1, but 35 over 5 minus 12 over 5. And now that it has the same denominator, we can subtract. So 35 minus 12, 23 over 5. And we just solved for B. If you remember, B is our y-intercept. It doesn't need us to draw the line, it just needs us to find the equation though. So we got our slope and we have our y-intercept, plug it in, y equals negative 3 over 5x plus 23 over 5. You can do decimals if you want. I'm just going to leave it in the fraction form. But that is your answer, and that is all that is to lesson 14.